Alright, what is up YouTube? MCool40 here. I promised Kevin McCarthy that I would go ahead and take a look at his top 48 Pendulum Magician list from the San Jose Regional this past weekend. So if you guys want to kick back and enjoy a deck profile, kind of see where things are going, because honestly the way that this deck kind of molds up, you get one or two tech slots, and it's kind of interesting to see where people dedicate these tech slots along with just the standardish card choices and things like that. So thanks, thanks, Nick, for sending this in. It definitely means a lot that people do enjoy process kind of looking through these decks. So let's dig on in to Mr. Nick McCarthy's deck profile show. We also have a tournament report for those of you that love that kind of stuff at the end of this video. So we have triple copies of Chronograph Sorcerer. Once again, this is still the same extender that it's always been. Also being a level 6 that you can kind of mess around with for Naruto, depending on the play that you're trying to make, is very good. But in terms of combo extenders and things like that, you're going to be using this to pop itself to summon our boy Time Gazer Magician. Now, fundamentally, the pendulum effect of this, actually both effects of this guy, I think people kind of underestimate this. So if you control no other pendulum scale, when you activate this, it does jam itself to 4, which can be bad. But the monster effect is, each turn, the first card in your pendulum zone that would be destroyed by an opponent's card effect is not destroyed. I've seen this actually come up a couple times for the physical monster effect. You would think that it doesn't really matter, but oddly enough, it can. And it's a strange one. And of course, we have 2 copies of Black Fang. This is going to be the one that will allow you to half an opponent's monster, and then also when it is destroyed by battle or card effect in the monster zone, it does flow into another dark monster in your graveyard. So once again, extenders. And then of course 2 copies of my boy Purple Poison, given something that 1200 boost, and if it's destroyed by battle or card effect, you can target 1 face card on the field and destroy it. 2 copies of this is pretty a-okay. I don't think I've seen 3 of this in 100 years. Then of course we have 2 copies of Oath Dragon. Honestly, this also seems pretty standard. Getting that recursion back, though, can kind of be good. Also, like, depending on Wisdom Eye and things like that, this can get value. Of course, triple copies harmonizing the tuner that special summons additional ones. Like, still, it's a high scale. I kind of wish we had more low scales in the deck, but honestly, floating into that other monster, and then also getting the attack and defense boost if it's your pendulum scale can help OTK. Triple copy of Wisdom Eye. I don't know what I really can say about this. This card is so bonkers. Like, honestly, anytime that you can open up 2 copies of these, like, you're pretty much lit. 1 copy of Zinganki. I think this is pretty much just becoming a staple at this point. I still don't think it's good. 1 copy of Dragon Pit. For another scale to discard to destroy spells and traps, this isn't bad. If you know that your opponent has a strike or something like that, you can kind of set this up and try to take care of the resource that your opponent's going to have. I definitely do not think that this is terrible. Also, it's another high scale, acting as another level 7 as well for the deck. Then, of course, we have the Mythical Beast Cerberus package of 2 Jackal King, Triple Master Cerberus. You don't really get a lot of leeway with this. This is just pretty standardized at this point. Triple copies of Darkworm. No reason not to play this. Like, this in the 2-gate 0 is probably the most stable thing in this deck, actually. It's pretty crazy. And then, of course, we have triple copies of Avian. So, I love and hate Avian because it is another level 7 that you get access to in the deck, which is pretty good. And then it's also just built-in negation. As long as every turn can progressively go by for you in a way that doesn't devastate you at a loss of having these. If you can open up 3 of these and still play the game, enjoy just the nuts, essentially. But it's kind of something I noticed. Like, people love this. Now, this deck's day can be made or broken because of this card. And it really sucks to say that, because if this gets ashed when you're going first, you're going to have a bad time. There's nothing you can really do about that, and that's just the way the cookie crumbles. We've talked about in the past that decks that, like, are vulnerable to hand traps can be an issue, but in the long run, it doesn't really matter, because you know, these decks can still perform and still do well. So this is just another one of those, well, shit, 1 hand trap, the cookie can crumble. Triple copies of Desires, yeah, you need this. Like, you need to be able to get combo pieces. And then, of course, 2 Dragon Shrine, 1 Foolish Barrel, rounding out the rest of the spells. I can definitely tell you, looking at this, though, that the way he's playing this, he wants to make sure that we are seeing those the Dark Worms. Like, this card is so good in the deck that it's actually insane. I'm actually surprised we didn't kill this. It's still allowing our Pendulum deck to kind of survive here. So that's the main deck. The extra deck down here is pretty standard for what you would expect out of this. So we have 1 copy of Ade's Vortex Dragon. This is pretty much be what you're going to be floating off of Absolute once you make Absolute. And then, of course, 1 copy of Naruto Man. Just extenders and negators. I mean, it's not like you don't have 5 cards to make it. Silent Honor this one kind of makes sense to me. Level 4s that can suck up things that can have protection are not bad at all, ladies and gentlemen. Let that sink in. Answering your opponent's monster that you can't answer normally, we did it. 1 copy of Tornado Dragon, just back row removal in the finest slots that we could potentially need, depending on what our opponent is dealing with or setting up. This is not a bad resource whatsoever. 1 copy of Abyss Dweller. Graveyard-esque effects are actually really annoying, so this is definitely something that can be said that you need to play. 1 copy of Dark Rebellion, OTK generator. 1 copy of Time Star. I think more and more people have been going towards this more lately than not. Basic staple. 1 copy of Ignisti, the Sistis. Card's so good. 1 copy of Omega, same logic here. Piercing cards from your opponent's hand. 1 Supreme King Clearwing. Board wipes are actually essentially good. And then 1 copy of Decode Talker, level 3s. 2 Underclock Takers for OTKs. 1 Wee Witch's Apprentice, and 1 Electromite. Now, there is no Landphonicus in here. I think he was going towards the Wee Witch's Apprentice to kind of cover the void, what Landphonicus had left us. So that kind of makes sense. Now, the side deck is pretty standard here. We have triple copies of Denko Sekka, Sky Striker, and any sort of back row decks that can cause you problems need to be answered ASAP. And Denko Sekka gives you just that. And we have 2 copies of Prankatops. Remember, it's just a prank, bro. We have 2 copies of Effect Failure. Pretty standard, honestly. It's that or Ash Blossom. 1 copy of DD Crow. I've heard nothing but good things from people this format that are actually playing Crow. It's actually been pretty successful for people. 2 copies of Twin Twisters. 2 copies of Called by the Grave. 2 copies of Reboot. And then there is the Gaga Cowboy of Time. Now, his tournament report. He started off round 1 against ABC. He won 2-0. Round 2 was against Crusadia. He won 2-0. Round 3 was against Altergeist. He won. Round 4 was against Sky Striker. He ended up winning. Denko Sekka is by far the MVP of those matchups. That's true. Round 5 was against Trickstar Artifact. He won 2-0. Interesting deck, and thanks to Denko again, he was able to win. Round 6 was against Thunder Dragon. Game 1. OTK, game 1. Grind game 2, a lost game 2, and unfortunately Cowboy for game 3 to steal the win. So he's undefeated until round 7. So round 7, he plays against Thunder Dragons. He loses 0-2. The player was the first overall in Swiss, great player of the deck. So at this point, we're now 6-1. Round 8, plays against Sky Strikers. Game 2 opened all 3 Denko Sekka and no combo pieces. It happens, as do misplays. So, I mean, these guys started off 6-2, and then, or started off 6-0. At this point, we're X2. And then round 9 was interesting. It was against a friend, and we were about to tie until the judge called a slow play warning on him 50 seconds before time. Gave a 3-minute extension to him to attack to reduce my life points. Placed 33rd. Top 40 got their invite. So, not too bad. And then, of course, round 9 was ABC Sky Striker. Actually, interesting. He's got to give a quick shout out to Equilibrium Games in Concord, which is his locals, and then shout outs to his girlfriend for staying and testing with me, and Team Scrubs group chat is the last one. So, honestly, if you want a budget deck this format, I've talked about this in other videos as well. You know, like, it's not necessarily a bad thing. He also said that, like, this was his first, like, top 48 at a regional too, which is really good. He also had to give shoutouts to King of Bar as well. So I really do hope that those of you that like playing budget-S decks, those of you that like exploring the format, give this deck a shot. You know, this is a very good time to be alive. And I've done Pendulum deck profiles before, but it's like, I understand, like, it's cheap, it's affordable, and you have a chance to play Yu-Gi-Oh. Guys, please leave a comment down below to me what you guys think about Mr. Nick McCarthy's list. And well, guys, that is all I have for this video. Alright guys, take care of yourselves. Peace out. The ride never, well, truly ends. Thank you, patrons. Without you guys, I don't know what I'd be wearing in these videos. I might be a Truffle Shuffle incident all over again. Guys, please also check out VanCole40 for some awesome Vanguard content. Some other interesting stuff you might find up here on the left or in the description as well. Thanks for watching.